Hello and welcome to the channel, and I am here for an album review for you guys. Now for this review, I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Spell and their album Sky Destroyer. Now this album released earlier this month, so I figured why not give it a review. This album was recommended to me by my good friend Jamie Horsley, so go check out Jamie's review for the album and his channel as well. So yeah, this album, Sky Destroyer from Midnight Spell, I do like this album, and I gotta say that it pleasantly surprised me, and I'm really glad that I got recommended to check out this album, because this album was definitely a pleasant surprise. And I can say that this is by far my favorite album of 2021. I mean, this is definitely album of the year contender for sure, and I'll give you some reasons why. If you're someone who thought that metal is pretty much, there's no way that it's going to redeem itself as a genre, you think that, there's no way that metal is going to, go back to their roots without, also trying different things, and you're just kind of tired of this whole, oh, if it has to have screaming if it wants to be metal in today's time, if it it has to have screaming if it wants to be relevant. Well, this album might do something for you, because this album is basically a throwback to the old school days of heavy metal. I mean, if you're a fan of bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, or Queensryche, this album might have something for you. I mean, this album is basically a throwback to the old school days of heavy metal, specifically the 1980s era. And it's definitely a great album. I mean, the vocals sound really good on this album. The guitar work, I mean, it's got some real energetic guitar work that just really stands out. And I mean, some favorites of mine on this album would have to be Cemetery Queen, Lady of the Moonlight, and Beyond the Eyes. These songs are especially highlights for me. The song Beyond the Eyes definitely reminds me of Iron Maiden. I mean, the vocal ranges in this song are definitely fantastic, the way they're done, and just the dynamic natures of these songs. I mean, it has a lot going for it, I think. This album definitely has a lot to like about it. And also keep in mind that this is a newer band too, so it is definitely surprising that I am a fan of this band now, because this album, Sky Destroyer, is actually Midnight Spell's debut album that just released this year. And yeah, so it's kind of insane to think about that I'm a fan of a newer band, since you guys know that I'm not really the biggest fan of, newer bands. Pretty much bands of the 2010s and also the 2020s. So yeah, I definitely enjoy this album. I definitely did, and I'm just really glad that this album was recommended to me, and I like the album, and it's definitely one of my favorites of the year so far. And you know what? Because there's just been not really much that's been announced so far this year, so this album was definitely something to hold us over until, some of the bigger bands start releasing music. But I think this band, Midnight Spell, definitely has potential. I mean, I really am excited to see what these guys do next, if they continue to go on, because this is a really good debut. I mean, it is fantastic. So as a score, I'll have to give Sky Destroyer by Midnight Spell probably an 8.5 out of 10. It's a great album. Definitely check it out. So that's my review for this album. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like this album? Did you not like this album? What are some things that you liked about the album? Is there things that you didn't like? Just feel free to let me know your thoughts. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.